Like, there's nothing this man can do that's gonna make MAGA sit down for a second and go, maybe that's not right. They gave $40 billion to Argentina. That's fine. That's America first. There's nothing this man can do that they're gonna call him out on because he is untouchable. He defrauded people as president. He is pushing merchandise as president. He is making business deals as president that enriches himself. Why are you not making this a more serious deal than it is? Why are we comparing Hassan and Destiny, streamers, to the President of the United States of America? Why are we doing this? What has life come to that you have to defend the president by comparing him to streamers? So hilarious. This is hilarious to me. Asmongold can go on an entire rant about how the FBI is not possibly doing something. They absolutely are doing something with zero evidence. But then people are like, hey, I think it could be Barron Trump, considering that they would have to have a close proximity to the president, a close relationship with the president, and it might be Barron Trump who's involved with this. Don't have evidence, but that could be a possibility. And when you hear that and you go, yeah, I don't know why anyone would even think that. I don't even know why anyone would even consider that. It's like, are you serious, bro? Really? What's going on, everybody? That's funny. So today we're going to be reacting to Asmongold react to Voice Critical. Only in 2025 can you guys watch a guy react to a guy react to a guy. Ain't that some shit, huh? Welcome to the new age internet. But this is what we're going to be talking about today. He made a video reacting to Voice Critical's video. My reactions are usually up there. I try not to yap too much, but I understand that I yap a lot. So, to keep my brain occupied while Asmongold is over here probably spitting off nonsense, I'm going to play Madden and try to take the Bears to the Super Bowl. One thing I will say is I keep looking behind me because that door is open. I always have this, like, weird feeling that someone's behind me if my door is open. I don't know why. But nonetheless, I will say I saw a bunch of Asmongold clips, which makes me feel like he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. But this is going to be my first video of Asmongold, so let me give him a chance and not just assume he's an idiot. I kind of think he is from the clips I saw, but hey, anybody can be proven wrong. So let's play some Madden and let's see what Homeboy's got to say.
Very, very, very controversial video.
I remember growing up thinking that brainwashing and mind control was just something you see in comic books and cartoons.
Nope.
Now I know it's a very real thing that you can see happening daily in this country.
Yep.
Now, the big thing I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about a lot here.
People have lost their fucking minds.
A bunch of blabber in here and drool coming out of my mouth as I'm spitting because I'm about to be getting pretty passionate. The big focus is on the huge crypto collapse from yesterday. And the very suspicious, very lucky trader who was able to cash out $190 million off of it because they were shorting Bitcoin and Ethereum a day before and all the way up until a minute before Trump's Truth Social post announcing the massive tariffs on China, which crashed the entire market.
Damn!
And then 30 minutes later, they cashed out $190 million. It seems like they might have known something, but that can't be, right? That would be corruption. And this administration doesn't engage in that kind of nefarious activity.
No.
Except for all the previous times that this exact same thing has happened with Trump announcing things on Truth Social that people close to him that suckle his fucking teats must have had insider knowledge on because they're able to cash out millions upon millions of dollars because of his rinse and repeat cycle of threatening tariffs, backing off tariffs, postponing tariffs, just fluctuating the market up and down, yet people in his inner circle must be privy to this knowledge because they are making absolute bullseye trades.
I mean, we've seen this time and time again. Am I going to be able to play Madden without it constantly closing out on me? I'll figure it out. But we've seen this time and time again, right? We've seen Trump constantly use his own platform as president to enrich people he cares about around him. Like, we've seen it with Jared Kushner. We've seen it with billionaires who are his friends. We've seen it constantly. I don't know how this is surprising. It's not okay, and I'm not minimizing it whatsoever. It's just one of those things that MAGA doesn't really seem to care about. Right? They don't care. They don't care. Like, it blows my mind that years ago, right? Since I'm already here, because my Madden closed, I'll try to make sure that works. I don't know why it's being weird. Years ago, we had Obama wearing a tan suit And Fox News threw a fucking hissy fit about this, bro.
Earlier today, you were criticizing what President Obama said yesterday. Admittedly, many Democrats feel he was inartful in his phrasing yesterday about not having a strategy ready for Syria. You also, though, criticized the president's wardrobe, his choice of suit, of a light-colored suit. Do you think that was fair to do that?
Yeah, because it was in the context of the president coming out. The world and the country have been waiting for a week for what he's going to say about Syria, what he's going to say about ISIS. And he comes out, yes, with this new suit on. But what bothered me was he began by not even talking about Syria. He said he wanted to talk about the issue that most Americans are concerned about, and that's the fact that the economic numbers for the second quarter had been adjusted. And to me, that was an insult to the memory of Jim Foley was killed.
Why did you take issue with the suit?
Because you know the image makers in the White House. Here's a president coming out at such a serious moment where he should be addressing the country on such a serious matter, and he looked like he was on his way to a party at the Hamptons, which would have been fine if he addressed.
Like, it's insane to even think about this. That we had people, politicians, Fox News, and keep in mind, this is CNN. So this is liberal media, as people like the liberal cocksucking media that people love to say, right? And even they had someone on there ragging Obama for his suit. And it blows my mind how we went from a time where if Obama used a suit, they ragged on the dude because he used a selfie stick. It's insane to think about this. And then Trump can literally come out here and say, I hate all my enemies. And that's a joke. Trump can come out here and throw parties for his donors for his crypto coin. That's fine. Like, there's nothing this man can do that's going to make MAGA sit down for a second and go, maybe that's not right. They gave $40 billion to Argentina. That's fine. That's America first. There's nothing this man can do that they're going to call him out on because he is untouchable. But it is what it is. I'm interested to see what Asmongold's going to say. One thing with his videos, I constantly see him just defending Trump on everything. So if I know Asmongold, it's probably going to be a mixture of, like, I don't know how you can defend Trump in this crypto shit unless you want to turn around and be like, well, all politicians are corrupt. I feel like that's the fucking ripcord right there. When you're getting called out for bullshit, the ripcord is just, all politicians are corrupt. Pull the ripcord. So, let's keep going. Let's try to play Madden if I can. I want to play Madden.
Based on that before it becomes...
I think Charlie's right about this. And I think this is a meta-level problem. I think that anybody who's involved in government needs to be barred from making any trades or having anything to do with political trading whatsoever. Sorry, stock trading or crypto trading or anything like this. And this is like a meta-level issue. This is a Nancy Pelosi. This is a fucking, any of the, like a fucking Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, anybody I would say this with. This is a huge issue. They should not even be able to own stock. It's such a massive conflict of interest. And maybe their immediate family. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I don't know if I'd go that far. I probably would. But one thing I'm certain about is they themselves should not be doing it. And their family shouldn't be doing it. Sorry, their spouse should not be doing it either. Then they would just leak information to somebody else. Yeah. But they definitely shouldn't be able to. Why do politicians get off the hook? I don't know. But yeah, I agree with this. This has been a problem for years.
Oh my God.
Public. So this isn't really anything new. It's just the most egregious instance because you can literally see it. This account opens and starts shorting Bitcoin and Ethereum a day before this announcement, and then a minute before.
It's like somebody you give somebody their math your math test, and you're like, okay, copy it, but don't make it look obvious, and they just go one for one. That's it.
The Truth Social post goes live.
Yeah.
Like it's unbelievable. And if you're a MAGA cultist, it actually is unbelievable. They refuse to believe it. They refuse to accept the very real reality that they are getting fucking hosed. Trump...
It's very likely that somebody that was involved with Trump's administration made this decision. Or somebody that's privy to knowledge that they shouldn't be aware of made this decision. And I think that there should be an investigation into who did that and making sure that that person never has access to information again, and potentially also criminal charges. Barron Trump, well, I don't know. Nobody knows.
Okay.
Like, and this is something that I feel like I've always felt this way. This isn't a Trump MAGA cultist opinion. This is a meta-level problem that's affected politics for years.
Yeah, it's what I said he was gonna do. You know, all politicians do it. This is a big problem, but not necessarily calling out Trump. It's so infuriating because it's like, bro, if Trump is involved with this, which is probably true, if Trump is involved with this, who's gonna investigate it? This is so insane. There should be an investigation. How? Right? When you have the Pam Bondi doing the marching orders of Trump. You have Kash Patel doing the marching orders of Trump. Everybody under him does whatever Trump tells them to do. I find it so crazy that he wanted Comey investigated. A prosecutor said, hey, I can't find any worthwhile evidence to bring in front of a grand jury. And keep in mind, a grand jury only means an indictment. It takes a lot more to push forward an actual case to find someone worth of guilt. The only thing a grand jury is telling you is like, yeah, we feel like this is possible in order for you to charge them. But you had a prosecutor that literally say, hey, bro, that's why there's the saying you can indict a ham sandwich, right? Get enough evidence, you can indict a ham sandwich, but it does not mean you can find them guilty. Because people like to use that phrase when they try to defend Trump. Like, you can indict a ham sandwich. You can indict them, but your homeboy Trump has 34 felonies, okay? So it's more than just being indicted. It's not like the man got some charges and then they were dropped. He got some charges and he was found guilty, but you guys don't believe that. But his prosecutor said, hey, I can't find shit. Fired. Brought on another one, a real estate agent with no history of being a prosecutor, came onto the scene and said, hey, bro, not only was that last prosecutor wrong, but I got evidence that says James Comey was committing wrongdoing, so let's go ahead and charge him. He wants his political opponents charged. He goes on Truth Social all the time on how this shit needs to be done, and not a peep. Like, it's frustrating when it's like we can see with our eyes if there is wrongdoing. It's just not going to be found out. But to Asmongold, it's like, oh, they should be investigated. Yeah, no shit, but it's not going to happen. But it's okay. Let's just say, like, all politicians bad, all people bad, and let's just equate everyone, because I don't want to call out my homeboy by himself. Like, I am so curious if he's going to sit here once and be like, if this is true, Trump is 100% wrong. Trump is not. If this is true, you know, I can see how people can have an issue with it, but, like, the politicians in general have been doing this for years, and they're so bad, and we'll see.
Trump's family's net worth has exploded since becoming president. How do you defend that? Well, I'll tell you how. Because they say Trump is such a benevolent saint, he actually doesn't even keep his salary from being president. Wow, that's how much he cares about the American people. You fucking delusional homunculus. The presidential salary is actual
like
peanuts. It's literal fucking used condoms in the grand scheme of how much money him and his family are making throughout his presidency. When he was being fucking sworn in, he was still launching up to 168 new products. And that doesn't even...
No. While he's in office, he was doing the Trump phone. He did the Trump phone.
Include things like his cologne that he lost.
Yeah, whatever happened with the Trump phone, by the way? Yeah, whatever happened with this? Like, are we going to get those or not? Trump watches?
Nothing. Just
he did and his family did? Well, when are they going to do it?
That's
Trump
okay.
Gooch galore smell, the Trump watches, the Trump phone and shit like that. So that has only increased the amount of things that he is hawking to the American people to buy solely to enrich himself and his family. His fucking meme coin and all of that. His family is going...
I think that the meme coin is indefensible. The meme coin was definitely bad. I don't see how anybody can spin it as not being bad. And especially when Melania Trump did the same thing. I mean, really, it was bad. I mean, I don't... There's a big problem that I think a lot of people have where they can't, like, this is somebody like, I mean, I'm generally like pretty pro-Trump, right? I'd agree with a lot of things he's done, not everything, but a lot of things he's done. Like, for example, the Middle East stuff, I've been glazing him for like the last hour about that, right? But this definitely was a bad decision. And I think that a lot of people have this fixation in their mind that they're allergic to any degree of nuance or complexity to any issue. And I think that this aversion has caused them to delude themselves to a degree that's unhealthy. And so what's happened is that people will always try to come up with excuses for why something bad happens on their side. But the reality is that sometimes people that you agree with can do things that are wrong. And that doesn't mean that the people that you agree with that are doing it are evil, like in all cases. I mean, people are complex. There's good and bad things that people do. But trying to force every single person into being like this black and white cookie cutter thing because you're afraid of dealing with the nuance of the human condition is just simply setting yourself up to fail. You're building a web of lies. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to everybody around you. And you're just being delusional. And I don't know why people do this. I really don't. I think this is and I'll probably say this a lot. It seems like it's one of these videos, right? This is a both sides issue, right? So I think people constantly try to look up for excuses for why their side does something. But when the other side does it, it's bad. And I think this is a massive issue overall. Let's get all this.
What did I say? What did I fucking say to you guys? What did I say? I fucking called it. I told you. I fucking told you. It's a both sides issue. Downplaying the crypto shit. Not even like saying, like he's saying, oh, it's bad, but like people are bad. What the fuck? What the fuck is that statement? That's like me saying, hey, you know, your kid is gonna fuck up sometimes. They're gonna drop the milk. They're gonna drop the glass. They're gonna steal a cookie. Like, what are we? He defrauded people as president. He is pushing merchandise as president. He is making business deals as president that enriches himself. Why are you not making this a more serious deal than it is? It's just like, oh, you know, politicians are corrupt. Politicians are corrupt. That's literally the ripcord. Because no one disagrees with that. Politicians are corrupt. So if someone's talking about my daddy and how he's bad, the only thing I gotta fall back on is, well, all politicians are corrupt. All politicians are corrupt. All politicians are corrupt. That way, I can avoid the responsibility of calling out the one guy that I glaze consistently and look like I'm a fence sitter, when really, if this was a Joe Biden, if this was a Harris, I 100% would not be saying all politicians. I'd be railing against them. But since it's my daddy, I gotta, you know, now let's be nuanced. Now let's be meta. Now let's talk about the complexity of all politicians in the system. Now let's talk about capitalism, guys. All right? Once Trump leaves office, we'll focus on that one guy. Remember all the illegals that came in with Biden? That was Biden's fault. The economy, when it was doing better, but for some reason everybody think it was shit under Biden, Biden's fault. But when the economy is shit because of COVID, when Biden got in and he was fixing it, and the economy was shit under Trump's last year of his presidency because of COVID, well, that's because of COVID. That's because of COVID. And then here comes Biden, literally right there, up to like Trump's last day in office. Oh, it's because of COVID. It's because of COVID. It's because of COVID. It's because of now Biden's in office. Oh, it's Biden. It's all Biden. I love how we can be so nuanced and so complex when our guy is in office and never hold him accountable. But when it's anybody else, it's their fault, 100%.
True? Yeah, it is. It's all or nothing thinking.
In terms of how much money they are making off of his presidency. They're not even hiding it. They are just constantly making money off of you. As you suffer and get less and less money, they get more and more. They are taking the pizza and not even leaving you bits and pieces, morsels of the crust. Yeah. It's sad, and yet people love it. They will accept it with a fucking smile on their face and say, please, give me.
It's very easy to understand why they do that. So this is Charlie's. I think he probably does understand this, but like a lot of people's misunderstanding, maybe Charlie's, it is actually very easy to understand because you just don't understand what their value system is. A lot of times people perceive hypocrisy because they don't understand the scope of a person's feelings. The fact is that they don't really care whether Trump is a scammer. They don't care whether Trump was cheated on his wife or whether he was some weirdo or some other shit. They don't give a fuck about that. The only thing that they care about is that Trump is able to enact the policies that they want him to enact. Trump is not a person to them. He is a tool. And I think that another parallel to this is Hassan. The reason why a lot of people don't care about the dog at all is because Hassan represents a value system that transcends what his individual behavior is as a person. So Hassan and Destiny is the same thing. People just don't even give a shit whether Destiny said this.
Why are we comparing Hassan and Destiny, streamers, to the President of the United States of America? Why are we doing this? What has life come to that you have to defend the president by comparing him to streamers? Are we kidding right now? It's so infuriating. Oh my God. Basic decorum is so much to ask for from your president nowadays. Hey, we want our president to act like a mature adult. It's like, oh, but people are human. People are human. It's so annoying. People are human doesn't mean they're pieces of shit. The way I'm talking to you guys right now in this video, the way I'm swearing and going up and down with my words, I don't talk this way in public. Shocker. When I go to work, guys, I don't talk this way. I don't tell people to suck my dick like crazy the way I do when I'm playing video games. By the way, you guys should stop by in my streams sometimes to watch me play some games. I don't tell people to suck me off, suck my dick, fuck you. I don't do that in person. Why? Because it's immature. It's so annoying how these are the same people that will sit here and tell you words don't matter, get over it, stop being a snowflake, words don't matter. But then at the same time, turn around and say, oh, yeah, the reason that Charlie Kirk got murked is because of the radicalization of the far left in Antifa. Oh, how? Because of memes and calling people fascists. Oh, please shut the fuck up. So words don't matter when we say it. When we got the President of the United States going on stage saying, I hate my enemies. All right? Saying that the far left is the problem, not the far right. We got the president saying that. That doesn't matter. Words don't matter. But oh shit, 18-year-old Billy made a meme on Twitter and that's gonna radicalize people. Now get the fuck out of here. Oh, I just, Asmongold, man, what a fucking glazing man. How do I make it, if there's any tech bros here in my comment section, how do I make it so I can play my game, right, without it, you see that? My screen just went black there for a second. How can I play my game, right, without it doing that? Is there a way to do that? If anybody has any suggestions, I'd be greatly appreciated. Let's keep going.
Or he did this thing, whether he did or he didn't, he's in this lawsuit. The reason why people still support Destiny is because Destiny represents an idea that transcends what an individual is responsible for. And I understand that, like, you can probably look at, you know, the president of the United States and hold them to a different standard than a YouTuber. Sure, I think that's fair. But fundamentally, what we're talking about is the way that humans perceive things. People will be more than willing to accept a horrible person if that horrible person will do something that they want. And it's really just that simple. And the hypocrisy for this is actually not hypocrisy, it's a lack of perspective. You think that their value system is what they're saying. It's not. And it never was. No. Their value system is actually about achieving these meta-level goals, and even if they have an imperfect messenger, that's better than having no messenger at all. That's the real reason. And once you look at things through that lens, you'll understand why so many of these issues of hypocrisy are actually not hypocrisy. People just perceive it as hypocrisy because they've bought into the lie that it's been about principle to begin with. It was never about principle.
What?
This is what I've said before about how by playing the game, you oftentimes lose.
Some more. I've got more holes for you to fill. Please, come in here.
How's it different than Obama or Biden or Gavin selling a product to make a product sell it right? The point, you can make a million arguments about it, but, like, I'm talking about I don't care about that. Like, that doesn't matter. Like, I don't give a shit about that. Like, that's not my point. There's a much bigger issue and an idea that I'm talking about here that doesn't have anything to do with any one person. And hopefully people can understand that.
Give me some more. I've got more holes for you to fill. Please, come in here. I'm waiting. It's just absurd. They don't even stick to a single belief anymore. Like the Epstein Files, I know I have made a lot of content on in the past, so I'm not going to regurgitate that. But the Epstein Files are a really good example of how they really cared about the Epstein Files, and they were really upset at the failure of Joe Biden to release them in that administration. So they were hyping up Trump about all of his promises to release those Epstein Files, which he has still not done, and still actively just like discounts, and the entire administration denying the existence of now. Right. And this same group of people that was so excited for Trump to follow through on that promise is now like, oh, he didn't break any promises. In fact, it's just not even important. That's why he's not doing it. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, who cares about the Epstein Files? We have so many bigger things to worry about. Like what the next product we're gonna have to buy from Trump is. Like,
it's gonna be the phone. It's gonna be socks, maybe. So the reason why, and this is the reason why it happened. A lot of the people that were pro-Trump were very, very much in favor of releasing the Epstein Files. Trump said that the Epstein Files weren't there. A lot of people, whenever Joe Biden was president, I think that they weren't really talking about it a lot too. I think that really people do care about the Epstein Files, but what they really care about is being able to weaponize the Epstein Files against their political opponents. That's what they really care about. And I know this might be a very, very tough pill to swallow, but I don't think people really care about what happened or not. I think a lot of people genuinely don't, because Chris Brown is still on the radio and he beat the fucking shit out of Rihanna.
What does Chris Brown have to do with the Epstein Files? How do people sit here and watch Asmongold? He will sit here and literally slob the knob of Trump to the point he's bringing up Chris Brown to defend his actions. What are we talking about? What is happening? I don't understand. This makes no sense. By the way, I'm probably going to have to move to another game. I'm probably going to have to move to a different game here. I don't know if I can keep playing Madden if it keeps, like, messing with my setup. I'll keep trying. But every time I go to pause, it fucks it up. But I digress. Enough about Madden, okay? I'm probably going to cut that out from the main video, so let me write down the timestamp for that. But when it comes to Asmongold, what does that have to do with Trump's promise? You're right. They probably want to use the Epstein files against the political opponents. And you know what? It's so crazy that Asmongold is like right there. He's right there, and he just can't get over that line. He's literally right there. I think he's 100% correct. I think Trump wanted to use the Epstein files against his political opponents. I think Trump was hoping that names in the Epstein file was going to bring bad haste to the Democrats, right? I think that's all true. And I think when he saw that there weren't like Bill Clinton and Barack Obama on the Epstein files, he got upset and decided not to release it. I don't know if Trump is on there at all. But one thing I will say, without a shadow of fucking doubt, it's fucking weird how you're not going to sit here and call him out for having a campaign promise and not committing to it. Your whole fucking shtick is that Trump is a piece of shit guy, but he's getting his agenda done, and that's all that matters. This is part of his fucking agenda. He's not getting it done. But because he may be implicated in something that you don't want him implicated in, now it's okay. Now let's talk about the fact that, oh, well, it's the same tired argument. That's why it's so annoying. It's, all politicians do bad things, and all politicians want to hurt each other, and Chris Brown beat Rihanna. Like, it's nonsensical bullshit just to defend Trump. He's wrong. And why is it so hard for you to just say he is wrong? It's crazy.
You have people like Sean Penn that beat the shit out of Madonna. You have people like Chuck Berry that married like a 14-year-old. You have tons of people that have done all these horrible things, and the public has accepted them to a general extent. This is true, and it's undeniable. And I understand that, you know, again, by me saying this, people might think that it's problematic, but I can come up with a lot more examples if you want. Jerry Seinfeld. People love Jerry Seinfeld. He dated a 17-year-old girl. But do people still watch him? Yeah, they sure do. They think he's funny. And so a lot, yeah, and I can go on and on. Elvis B. Woman too. Like, yeah,
what does this have to do with shit?
And so the point that I'm making about it is that
okay, here we go.
The people that really cared about the Epstein files primarily cared about it as a tool to weaponize against their political opponents.
What does that have to do with
Trump? I think if the Epstein files were theoretically released and Trump wasn't in them, theoretically, then all of the people that were Democrats would not accept them, even if they were real. I'm talking about a hypothetical. If there's a hypothetical that if they were released and Trump was not in the files and not implicated, I think they would not accept them. And I'll even go a step farther. I think that if Biden had released them and Bill Clinton wasn't in them and a number of other key people were not in them that were left-leaning, the Republicans would not accept them either. And I think that you have to look, again, this is what I've said before. You might think that this is hypocritical. That's because you're not looking at it from the perspective of where their real values are. The real value is weaponizing this to hurt people that you don't like. And I think that this is what I've said before, right? How do I understand and try to perceive what people think? I think of the lowest, most base, most selfish, self-serving thing that people could possibly believe. That's why. And I think that I'm right pretty much every single time. And that's it. It's sad you have to keep saying the same thing as people don't listen. Well, it's because people don't understand. Like, people, I think it's not that people don't listen. It's that people don't want to listen. That's the reason why. Because I think that people don't want to hear this. It's not. It's a very unpleasant reality, isn't it? I think it's an extremely unpleasant reality. But it is reality. Man. It's my understanding of reality, at least.
Oh. Well, as long as it's your understanding of reality.
They're just now saying it doesn't matter. We don't care. We actually don't want this information. Actually, I believe everything they're saying now. Yeah, it definitely doesn't exist. Yeah, actually, Maxwell's probably innocent, too. But, again, I've already talked about that a lot. Let's talk about some other stuff. The COVID vaccine. Trump just got a COVID booster. Not a conspiracy. Just out in the open, signed, documented, stamped. It is legitimate. Yes. Trump just got a COVID booster.
He did.
And this administration has constantly played into the MAGA fear of the jab. That was one of the big things with MAGA, is like how this is, you know, contaminating us, poisoning us. They're trying to kill us with the jab. And now Trump just got the vaccine booster, and those same people, like Gunther Dickelman, are now applauding him for it, sucking a fucking fart out of his butt for it, giving him a full rim job like, yes, the president's healthy, this is great news. Meanwhile, only a few months ago, a big talking point from him and so many others is the COVID vaccine and the evil of it. But now that Trump got the vaccine booster, well, now they love it. Well, now it's great. Actually, Trump probably got the vaccine booster because he's going to immediately give all of us herd immunity. He is using himself as a selfless sacrifice with the jab, so that way his aura of being immune to COVID will help infiltrate all of us via...
I think that the COVID vaccine controversy was not really about the vaccine itself. I think that the real controversy was about the fact that you couldn't question it, and it was semi-mandatory for a lot of different reasons. That was the real reason why people got radicalized against the COVID vaccine. I think that if you just looked at it, and I think that's really what happened. And so basically, whenever you had to get a vaccine, like there is a very, very strong line, and I think that people find it to be very uncomfortable whenever there is compelled medical behavior. Like, you have to take this medical thing. And I think that really, if you're just like a logical, reasonable person, you see that this vaccine comes out, it's been out, COVID has happened for a year. A lot of other vaccines, these have been out for a very, very long time. And so people have a lot more trust in, let's say, the polio vaccine versus the COVID vaccine because of its tenure. So this vaccine comes out and immediately people have to accept it as being completely valid, totally unproblematic. And you had government officials at the time saying that if you got the vaccine, you wouldn't get COVID, which turned out later on to not be true. And I think that a lot of reasonable, rational people saw that, and it made them extremely uncomfortable. And the fact that they couldn't express that discomfort...
That's not how a vaccine works, by the way. A vaccine doesn't mean you absolutely never, ever, ever get the disease ever. I don't even know who the fuck he's talking about. If you get a vaccine, it means you're least likely, when you get the disease, because you still can get it, to suffer detrimental symptoms that can hurt or even be fatal to your body. That's what a vaccine helps you with. Right? It doesn't mean you're 100% immune from a disease. This isn't a fucking movie. That's not how a vaccine works. It's just to make sure that it can prevent you from getting a disease, and it can make it so if you do get the disease, that you are protected from the serious ongoing symptoms attributed to that disease. That is how it worked. And secondly, I don't understand how so many people forget this. The vaccine came out under Trump. Okay, that's one thing that I actually give Trump credit for, even though I don't like giving him credit for shit. I can sit here and say, you know what, he deserves credit for something if he does something right. Operation Warp Speed. That was very good. That's a good thing to be proud of as an American, being able, all right, to help our country, and not even our country, the world as well, when it comes to developing a vaccine and getting it to as many people as possible, especially with the million-plus deaths that happened due to COVID. And no, not just people getting, oh, my granddaddy was in an accident and they said he died of COVID. We go off of excess deaths. There was 1 million+ excess deaths, okay? 1 million+. All right? So when it comes to the vaccine, when it comes to this, I don't understand the cope we're doing now. So now it's just like, well, we can't really, when it comes down to, you can't really blame people because it's the government. Who's the government? Trump was the government, you fuckwad. Oh my God. Trump was the government. There's always these fucking coded words. The government. Politicians. Whenever Trump does something wrong, it's always coded words and we speak in broad generalities. But whenever we're going to speak on Biden or Obama or whatever, now let's speak on certainties. Obama, Biden, Harris. But whenever it's Trump, it's let's speak on, in general, guys. In general. It's okay, kill myself. Let's get back to football.
And they also couldn't behave according
guys, I'm
to
not
that
doing
discomfort.
too hot.
And they were compelled by either the government or by their job or by society as a whole to behave in this way and to undergo medical treatment that they were not necessarily confident about. That's the real reason why people were upset about the COVID vaccine. I think that's really what happened. And if the COVID vaccine wasn't as, pseudo-mandatory culturally, I don't think that you would have really had the same type of pushback. If they had come out and said, well, we don't know whether this is going to completely stop it, but we're doing our best, and this is our first attempt at it right now, and there's people discussing it online, whether it's a controversial topic, etc., I don't think that you even see 10% of the hostility and the paranoia that's happened. And I think that really the proof is in the pudding. You can look at, in retrospect, the amount of trust that the government, I think, has lost after COVID. Think about how much people distrust the government because of how COVID was handled. And I think also, this is a point Charlie isn't bringing up, the COVID vaccine was developed under Trump to a pretty large degree. I mean, it was. Now, it was announced a couple of days after the elections were over, but at the end of the day, it was still under his presidency. It was developed under him. So, yeah, exactly, right? And so I don't know why he's not bringing that up. I feel like that's probably the best example of it. But I think it's really about people not being able to question and push back against it. And even, and this could be a Mandela effect, I don't know if it is, but I remember hearing when the vaccines were being announced that they were not announced intentionally before the election because they might change the results of the election. I don't know necessarily if I'm remembering correctly, but I remember hearing things like that. So yeah, we can trust Trump. Well, what I'm saying is that, I'm not saying you can trust anybody, but what I am saying is that telling people that they have to trust something is very...
So let me get this straight. Trump didn't release the vaccine, Operation Warp Speed, the development of it, everything was done under Trump. He even got it. But, like, they didn't announce that they had it until a couple days after the election to help who in the election exactly? What are you talking about? What are you fucking bumbling on about? That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. I heard that. You heard bullshit. You didn't hear that. What are you talking about? You just made that shit up. How does that even hurt Trump? Everybody knew Operation Warp Speed was under Trump. So it's not fucking shocking that the vaccine was made under him. Like, Apple fucking makes apple pie nice. What the fuck kind of... It's like me bringing a fucking bag of apples on the table saying I'm making pie, you bite into it, and you're shocked it's apple pie. Like, I thought it was going to be blueberries. Like, what are you talking... What? No shit. People can put 2 and 2 together. I'm not even sure if the vaccine was announced after the election. Pretty sure it was before. Like, you're not even making sense. But even if we go off your logic, it doesn't even make sense because Operation Warp Speed was under Trump, so everybody knew the development of the fucking vaccine was under Trump. We're just lying. That's all we're doing is just lying. And again, with the messaging, if you feel like people couldn't trust the government and everybody was very, like, anti-government and they're the reason that people didn't trust the vaccine, if that is your feeling or your sentiment towards that shit, who do you blame? Who was the government, you fucking dipshit? Trump! Why does Trump get no blame for anything ever? It's always people around him. It's always people he hired. It's always people that work for him, but it's never him. It's not his fault that the people he hired did bad messaging. It's not his fault that he did bad messaging himself. It's never his fault. It is never his fault. How can we live in the world where it's never the president's fault? That is so infuriating. How can we live in this type of circumstance that no matter what the president does, we will find a way to blame everyone around him before we even blame him? This is so just gross, bro.
Different.
Osmosis, so now we're all immune to COVID
So
thanks
that's why it
to
happened.
Trump getting the COVID vaccine booster or some crazy shit maybe. That one I'm just spitballing, but I'm trying to find ways, the mental gymnastics around it. But the sad reality is they're not even going to bother trying. They're just going to be like...
And I think also there were a lot of people of the mindset that, like my dad had this mindset that, you know, because he was, you know, he had already gone through, like he got the COVID vaccine because he had already gone through pneumonia multiple times. He was missing part of his lung and he was in his 70s. So I think that there was a lot more people that were willing to get the COVID vaccine that were immunocompromised in one way or another, right? But whenever you compare that to it being compelled on healthy, you know, athletic 30-year-old adults, well, then that's a very different conversation, isn't it? And I think that's another layer to the complexity that, again, makes people more accepting of it. And I do think that Charlie is to a degree right, that there is a lot of dissonance that happens, and it's like when Trump does it, it's okay. I think, again, the crypto example is better than this example, but I do think it's true, but I'm just explaining a little bit more behind this.
Here and just be like the good little NPC drone that's like, anything Trump does is great. Can't wait to swallow more Trump meat. Even though it goes completely against all of
So you just about RFK with his attacks on a vaccine, right? Well, I don't know everything that RSK has said. I mean, I don't know. I think that vaccines should be, you should be able to criticize vaccines, and people should have every right to be reluctant to take vaccines.
Nice.
They should have every right to be reluctant.
Nice.
I don't have an issue with vaccines. I have an issue with you having an issue with other people that have an issue with vaccines. Does that make sense? People should be allowed to come to their own conclusions, and they should make their own decisions for their own life and make their own medical decisions.
Hold on.
If I had a kid, I'd get my kid vaccinated. I probably wouldn't get him the COVID vaccine.
Oh, all right. I was gonna ask. That was my question. I'm glad you answered it. I was gonna be like, hold on. Are you saying you wouldn't get your kid vaccinated? And this whole idea of like people can come to their own conclusions. No. That's not how we live in the world. People can come to their own opinions, but not their own conclusions. You guys get what I'm saying? We don't live in that world. It's not a world we can live in. I can't live in a world where I conclude beating my wife is not abuse. That's not a world that I can just decide to live in and come to that conclusion. I can have that opinion. I'm going to prison. Doesn't matter if I feel that way. That's how that works. That's how the world should work. So I don't like this weird shaping of reality. This is the problem. It's funny because Asmon probably accidentally fell onto the problem that we live in right now. The problem is that too many people are taking their opinions and running and living off it like it's a fact, and it's just not. Too many people feel like their opinions equal fact. And I feel like that's the issue we live in. You can see your president consistently and constantly lie to you over and over and over again, and fact checked over and over again, not even by people in his own against him, but on his own side, his own Fox News, his own cronies. When Pete Hegseth said, hey, all the fucking media apparatuses need to sign on to this fucking bullshit that we need to sign off on whatever you make a story about, and you need to be agreeing to that. Even Fox fucking News said they're not doing that. Because why is it that we have to come to you, even if it's unclassified, for you to approve a story? What type of authoritarian shit is that? But we don't talk about that. We don't care about that. That doesn't matter. None of that matters. Why doesn't it matter? Because it's happening under Trump. It blows my mind. I could keep going. Don't tread on me, people. Where are you at? We got soldiers being sent in to cities. Where are you at? Where are you at? I can imagine if Obama did that type of shit. They were on Obama's ass because military exercises were being conducted in Texas, and Ted Cruz was saying, like, this is the start of an invasion of socialism, when Obama wasn't even in charge of that. Because I know we live in a weird time, guys, but, you know, back when the separation of powers seemed to be a fucking thing, Obama was not 100% plan to plan day to day what was going on with these military exercises. He was made aware of them either after the fact, sometimes before, but he was not made aware of every single military exercise or signed off on all of them. But a military exercise was being done in Texas, and Ted Cruz was saying, bro, socialism is coming. He's ready. He's ready to invade the states. But when we have a president that literally invades the states, that literally personally sends troops in there, that's fine. Like, this is why it's hard at times to talk like this politics shit. Because it's just, how do you talk to someone that just doesn't live on the same planet as you? Like, how are you able to come to a genuine conclusion in that conversation? It's like trying to have a conversation of whether or not I believe pizza is better than wings, and the person I'm talking to doesn't even believe these items are real. What am I supposed to say? How am I supposed to? It's like you're showing them the pizza and wings, like, bro, right here, barbecue wings, pepperoni pizza, and they're just staring at you like, that shit ain't even real, dude. What am I looking at? I'm looking at a blank table. What are you showing me? John Cena? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's so sad that facts just don't matter anymore. Our feelings matter more than facts. I hope we can break free of that, and I'm hoping after Trump leaves office and we get in a Democrat president to clean up the fucking mess again, that we come to a semblance of normality. But I just don't know if that's going to happen.
But I definitely fucking get him the polio one. What are we talking about? Of course.
He was talking about, like, so many people that were talking about the jab and how evil it is and all of that are now celebrating that Trump got it. It's just so obvious. It's so blatant. Like fucking cat turd. I don't think I've seen anything from him on Trump getting the jab here. Just radio silence, just crickets. Yeah. It's just ignore things that make you have to think. That is the cult mentality of MAGA. Anything Trump does is perfect. anything that makes me think that maybe there's something else there, I shut out. I plug my ears to. It is fucking horrifying. Trump.
I think that this is true, and I think that this is a massive issue, but I don't think that Trump has a monopoly on cult behavior. I think that you can look at especially the way that a lot of the Free Palestine people reacted to the peace agreement and the ceasefire with Gaza as the opposite. How is it that you can protest and fight and complain and get mad about this for 2 years, but, you know, actions are taken? And again, keep in mind, I'm not happy about this. Israelis are happy about this. Israelis are dancing about this. Palestinians are dancing about this. They're the ones that are happy. So shouldn't you at least be happy that they're happy? Well, I don't hear any of that. So I think this cult behavior is, nobody has a monopoly on cult behavior. That's my point that I'm making.
Is now building.
What the fuck are you talking about? What is cultish about people screaming free Palestine? By the way, I gotta switch over to my Xbox because I can't keep doing this Madden shit. I'm sad. I really want to play Madden, but I guess I'll play something else while Asmongold fucking shits his bricks on bullshit. What are you talking about? What do you mean? What are you talking about? How are you sitting here and saying, people who scream free Palestine, that's cult? What is the cult? Palestine? They literally have a political opinion. That's not a cult. You fucking moronic fool. Sorry, bullying. Shit. Sorry. If I upload this video, I don't want to get in trouble with, YouTube for bullying. I just don't understand how we can sit here and say, yeah, people who scream free Palestine, they're the exact same people as Trump supporters who will deny everything that is the truth, believe everything that Trump says, defend everything that Trump does, will go against their own morality when it comes to Trump, and will sit here and defend a man more than country. That's the same thing as a 19-year-old running around with a Palestine flag. Please shut the oh my god.
A Qatari Air Force base in Idaho. Trump has accepted a huge $400 million Wumbo Turbo Superstar jet from Qatar.
He has.
It's a crazy gift. That's one hell of a donation.
It's a nice one, huh?
In there. I don't want to toss the B word around too lightly here, the bribe nomenclature, but I mean, definitely smells a little fishy over here with that, especially in regards to what came soon after. He then signed a $5.5 billion deal with Qatar for a Trump golf course. Yippee, that's great for the American.
That's right. This is what's going to happen. Absolutely. Well, we'll go.
We'll
wait for the base
here through this deal, and now
I don't know about this.
He is putting a Qatar Air Force base on our homeland soil.
So that's not really the entire thing, but I can see why Charlie would be confused by this, because their messaging, like Pete Hegseth's messaging about this and also JD Vance's messaging about this, was contradictory and it was confusing to people, and they should have done a better job with this, to be fair. But what happened really is that there was a deal that Trump finalized, or not Trump finalized, but Trump approved in 2017. And this deal was it was like the workings of this deal were beginning in 2016 with the Obama administration. This is where we were selling, I think it was 36.
What the hell is he talking about? He's just lying. He's just fucking lying. What are you talking about? Okay, you know what? Sorry, guys. I guess we gotta fact check Asmongold. Wanted to play video games. It's so annoying. This is why I hate doing. Give me my goddamn tab. Give me my tab. Give it to me. There we go. This is why I hate doing politics, because it's like people just lie about bullshit. Okay. Okay, let's see. I am so curious. I could be wrong on this, but I want to see about the Qatari Air Base. I don't even know. The base is southeast, which is the state's capital and primary population hub. It sites on the heritage. What is the mission of the base? The base nicknamed the gunfighter base. Provide mission ready. Go to anywhere. There you go. Okay, so there were sales of aircraft to Qatari. Fact. That is a fact. What's not a fact, though, is that there were talks to train Qatari troops. There were no talks to train Qatari troops in America on U.S. soil. So, I don't I don't know why he's saying like that wasn't a talk for years. It's like he's taking a little bit of truth and then mixing it with a lie, which is the best way to tell a lie, by the way. Because then when someone tries to call you out on it, you can just fall back on the truth aspect of it without falling back on the lie aspect of it, so then people still think you're telling the truth. It's annoying. And this shit is off topic. Here goes our fucking commander and chump thinking about building a fucking arch against congressional approval, which I know is not a shocker to you guys. He didn't get Congress approval. Whatever. But yeah, he's thinking about building an arch in his name in DC without congressional approval. So what else is fucking new? But let's get back to Asmongold. Yap on, player.
F-15 jets to Qatar for like $12 billion.
What can I play?
And you can see it's like each one's like $30 million, right? It's a lot of money. Well, with a lot of really expensive things, it's very common that you're also sold a training program for those things. And this deal, and the point that I'm making with the deal is this deal has gone through 3 separate presidencies. It was initially floated by the Obama presidency. It was then, approved by the Trump presidency. It was then pretty much continued by the Biden presidency, and it was finalized again by the Trump presidency. So this really isn't a Donald Trump, like Donald Trump does not own this issue. It's just simply something that's been going on for a very long period of time. This is the same thing. Whenever you sell those jets, a lot of people come here and they're trained also to use the jets. This is part of the sales package, and they're able to do that. So these people that are Qatari, pilots are going to come to America and be trained here on an American airbase, but they're going to have their own space there in order to be trained. And so that does not mean that Qatar is building an air base in America. Like the same way that we have bases in other countries, that's not what Qatar is doing. But they're having people trained here in order to use the jets that they bought for $12 billion.
So there were not talks under the Biden and Obama administration. Nonetheless, I digress. Don't you guys find it like really funny though that oh fuck, where's my face? You guys can't see my face. I just noticed that. Guys. Hi. Okay, where's my video? Where's Asmongold's ugly ass face? Where's his face? Nope, that's not it. Fuck. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. Let me figure this out. Okay, there's that. Right. Let's put this down here. Nope. Still not it. Down here. Right? Nope. Right here. Hey, we did it. I'm gonna cut that out from the video. Fuck. What timestamp is that? 49:25. Okay, I'll cut that out from the video. No, but again, even if what he was saying, everything he's saying was true, even though he's lying about the Obama and Biden part of it, I find it funny that he's so nuanced. He's so nuanced. Whenever it's Trump, we are nuanced to the core, baby. We are so fucking nuanced. But whenever it's Obama, Biden, everything is just so, like, straightforward. It's so insane. It drives me insane. Because I don't even really care about the Qatari base aspect of this whatsoever. I really want him to expand on the cult shit. For him, like, comparing Palestine fucking protesters to Trump supporters, the same as cult behavior. I really want him to explain that. Like, in order for them to be a cult, there needs to be, like, a main person they're following. Just because they love Palestine doesn't mean that they're... What is the cult? Who is the figure? Please. But we'll see, guys. We'll see. Let's keep going.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm fine with that, too. I don't think it's a big deal. Now, you could say it's a Qatar base. Well, you can look it up for yourself. It's a facility, it's not a base. Yeah, you can look it up for yourself. Like, again, you can go back and forth and you can decide this whatever you want, but you just look this up and that's clearly what it is. That changes everything. Maybe y'all should construct an airbase with North Korea and the U.S. Well, we'll see what happens, right? And anyway, but this has happened with a lot of cases. Now, and I think that if you want to have a problem and say, like, well, Qatar is a funder and a sponsor of terrorism, and because of that, we're not going to do business with them, and we don't think, I don't think we should do business with them at all. That's totally fine for you to think that. But I don't think that's something that you can leverage explicitly at Trump. Because, again, this deal had gone through approval effectively through 3 different administrations. 3 separate administrations.
Oh, yeah.
Trump said that exact same thing? Well, yeah, but that's all I'm saying. The golf course, though? Yeah, sure. Sure, you want to complain about that. Will you let you train here if you let us build a golf course? Yeah, I mean, that's totally fine. U.S. is an airbase in Iraq. We already do this with Saudi Arabian pilots? Yeah. No, we do it with a lot of other countries, too. It's a very common pattern. Like, obviously, whenever we sell people $12 billion worth of jets, we want them to understand how to fly the jets. So they come over here and they learn how to fly the jets. One of the other reasons why is that some of the training tools and training resources are only available in America. Like, obviously, Qatar, the reason why they're buying the jets is because they're not making them, they don't have them. So because they don't have them, they also don't have the training tools in order to train people to use the jets either. So that's the reason.
Care about this jet shit.
It's been happening for decades. Yes, it is. And you can look this up.
I don't care.
About Biden's net worth doubling during his administration? Well, that's what I've said before. Like, and I said this at the beginning of the video, is that this is an existential problem for all political parties.
Hold on. Is that... Fuck! Why do you make me have to look shit up when I'm just trying to game, bro? I want to fucking hurt myself. What do you mean? Did Biden's net worth doubled during his administration? I can't even fucking spell. How do we, Biden's net worth. He got into office 2021. Biden's net worth in 2025. We'll do that search right here. Late 2025 is approximately $10 million. Real estate, $250,000, $400,000 from the presidential salary. Okay. So his net worth doubled. So that means he's at 10 million. That means in 2021, I'm looking at 5 million. 2021, Biden's net worth 2021. 8 million. Fuck me, bro. Are we fucking serious? $8 million. His net worth was $8 million. If you take in the fact that he got $400,000 for a presidential salary, it's no shit that I went up to 10. He didn't double his net worth under... He didn't double his net worth while he was in office. He got his presidential salary and his net worth went to 10 million from 8. And his salary is $400,000 a year. As president, his annual salary was $400,000. The White House released the 2021 tax returns showing a federal adjusted gross income of $610,000. With him and his wife, who are married. But okay.
Money being involved in politics is pollution. But I don't think that any group and any person has... Nancy Pelosi does not have a monopoly on this. Neither do any of the Republican senators that have made even more money than she has. Neither does Donald Trump. None of them have a monopoly on this. This is a meta-level problem. Citizens United. Yeah, there's that too. Anyway, let's move on.
What?
The Qatar thing is disingenuous. It's a training base on a military base for Qatar. I know that, but that's why I'm explaining it.
America first, right? Yeah, it's really America first thinking right there. Well, yeah, and I've already seen the cope about how actually no, this is a joint training procedure.
Yes,
this is something that we do all the time actually. And I saw JD, My Chemical Romance Vance talking today about like how it's actually just all fake news and stuff.
Yep.
Even though they have literally verbatim, point blank said exactly what this deal is, and he's
exactly, and they shouldn't have said it that way. It was a mistake. It was an error in communication. They shouldn't have communicated it that way. It was stupid.
Just denying that. Yes. So not even the administration is in agreement on their talking points right now. It's a fucking mess.
And I think that's a fair criticism, to be honest. Like them not being aligned on explaining how Qatar is going to be trained, Qatari pilots are going to be trained here in the United States. I think that's definitely a fair criticism because it's confusing to people and it scares them.
Still, people are so brainwashed and mind controlled that they'll just accept it and be like, this is great. This is America first, actually, to put this Qatar Air Force Base in Idaho. That's actually exactly what I wanted. And
if you also want my opinion, I think, like, on a meta-level opinion, I think that more interplay in terms of economics with Middle Eastern countries will be a good thing in the same way that I think that it's been a good thing between America and China because it lowers the probability of any sort of problematic behavior because nobody wants to fuck with their money. So, like, even if you take the Qatar thing out of this, I agree with the fundamental idea of it because I think that peace through trade is a legitimate strategy. Because nobody wants to lose money. Peace through trade is a legitimate strategy. By the way, Trump has released tariffs on every country in the world, damn near. But peace through trade, that's my president. It's fuck me. Nobody wants their money fucked with. So Trump is gonna fuck with everybody's money. God damn. What do you know about economics? Nothing. I'm just making it all up. Yeah, I'm just making it up. That's right. That's what I think is going to happen. Yeah. Yeah, that's the reason.
Is this
Always finds a way to surprise me with some crazy schizo posting late at night. So his most recent one is the Biden FBI placed 274 agents into the crowd on January 6th. If this is so, which it is, a lot of very good people will be owed big apologies. What a scam! Do something! President DJT. There is so much wrong with that. I think he forgot to take his suppositories, because holy shit, Trump was president on January 6th. Biden did not control the FBI. But you know what? Let's play ball here and dive into a fucking fever dream, a fantasy. Let's say Joseph Biden set down his ice cream, cracked his knuckles, and assumed direct control of the FBI on January 6th and placed all of these agents in there just as Trump says. Well, why don't you do something about it? You are the president. Who are you asking to do something? God? Batman? Like, who are you trying to call? Who are you trying to summon to do?
I think that this is so part of this I agree with, part of it I don't agree with.
What is he? Hold on, guys. Hold on. Fuck, hold up. I'm about to be searched. Let me get out of here. Okay. I think if I'm going to guess Asmongold's fucking shit here, he's going to go on a whole rambling spiel about how, I think he's going to say, like, well, you got to understand there's people, like, entrenched that's going to, like, try to mess with the president, whether it's the left and the right. This always happens. They're always trying to protect their own, and that's why it's hard to really prosecute anyone. He's not going to address the fact that Charlie even brought it up. Hey, the president was the president on January 6th. Trump was the president. So if anybody was in charge of the FBI, was the president. So I am curious what Asmongold's going to say, but I think it's going to be something of the remnants of, like, well, the left protects their own, the right protects their own, and, you know, it's understandable why Trump can't get anyone to be charged because there's people entrenched in the deep state and shit like that. I promise you. I doubt he's going to address Charlie's point, and if he does, it's going to be milquetoast at best, and he's not going to call out Trump whatsoever. But I could be wrong. Let's see.
I agree with the sentiment here is that Trump complains about things too much, and I think this is something that the administration does in general. Instead of complaining, you should be acting. Like, instead of complaining about the, you know, governor or the mayor not, you know, like, approving, like, trying to, like, actively subvert ICE or stop ICE, why don't you pull them up on the Insurrection Act and arrest them?
Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I thought I was pretty good at guessing what Asmongold's gonna say. Did not guess that. I did not guess he was gonna go that route. I am lost on that one. I thought he was gonna, like, talk about how Trump, you know, is entrenched by the deep state and whatever. But no, he's saying that Trump, what the hell are you doing, man? Go arrest governors for the ICE raids because they're not allowing you as the president to send in troops to their states without their permission. Go arrest governors for going against the will of the state. What the hell does that have to do with anything that Charlie said whatsoever? How do you miss a point so blatantly? Kudos to you, Asmongold, because you got me. You got me. I don't even know what to say. Like, you're not even going to bring up anything Charlie said. You're just running straight to, like, the ICE raids and say that Trump complains too much. Let's go arrest governors because they don't want soldiers in their state just sent there against their will? Okay.
Do that. That's what I want to see. Charge them for sedition.
Oh.
Because, yeah, I agree with Charlie, but I think in the opposite direction.
No.
Yeah, they're not doing enough. Like, if it was up to me, these people would be in fucking jail. And
for what? For acting on the will of their people? Oh my god. Holy shit. So again, listen to what Asmongold's explaining here. He's explaining authoritarianism. You need to remember that. He's explaining an ideology where the president can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, to whomever he wants, without explanation. So then when you call them out on it and say, that sounds a little fascist to me, they will bitch, they will moan, and they will say, why are you calling me that? This is why our country is so divided. By the way, I should have the right to lock you up for saying that to me. Oh, okay. Nice.
So it's about optics. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, Trump won't. Then because the Civil War. Oh, not going to have a Civil War. It's going to be over in It'd be over in minutes. Don't even tell them it's going to happen. Do it in one day.
What the fuck? What? What? Okay, yeah, no, just full fucking authoritarianism. Holy shit. Oh my god. I didn't see that coming, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you.
And so Trump pardoned them. Well, Trump pardoned some of the January 6 people, and that's complex. But anyway, I think that I do agree with that part. I think that it's very obvious also that whenever you have the government that's like this massive machine, I think this massive machine probably endures and has its own internal politics that sometimes does not align with what the politics of the current administration is. And I think that like probably the most obvious example of this is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is basically like Biden didn't really get the chance to appoint a lot of justices, whereas Trump in his first term did. Trump stacked the court. And because of the fact that Trump stacked the court, that is one apparatus of the government that is effectively politicized in a way that's beneficial to him. And I think that the same thing is probably also true inside of the CIA. I think that it's true inside of the FBI. I think it's true inside of every apparatus of government, is that there is going to be its own internal politics. And for me to imagine that the FBI or something like that was like completely in lockstep with the president all the time, I mean, just a very cursory look at the JFK files would prove that to not be true. So I think that in general, the deep state is a legitimate problem. I don't think that Trump...
There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is, guys. There it is. I thought it was going to come. He threw me off. He threw me off by his little, like, fascist fucking rant that he had there. But it's okay. We're back on topic. We're back on topic. Okay, so, the deep state. Right. The deep state. Even though Trump got in office, he put everyone in charge. He fired a shit ton of people, hired a bunch of people. The deep state. Right. The FBI deep state. 240 what? FBI agents entrenched against Trump's will. The deep state. Right. Right. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. 240 of them. No evidence of it whatsoever. Like, nobody who was part of these 240 who liked Trump whatsoever came out and said, hey, this is wrong. I'm going to tell Trump. They were able to... 240 people, guys. 240 agents. All in there. You know? The deep state. Fuck me, bro.
Has done even remotely enough to undo the deep state effects.
Oh.
You think there were a large number of federal agents January 6th and inside the crowd with the purpose of making Trump look bad while Trump was the president? Come on, man. Well, I don't know whether there were or not. When did I ever say that? I didn't say that.
Nice! Yes! This is what we love, guys. This is what we love. I'm not saying that there were FBI agents there. I'm just saying that there could have been FBI agents there. Why are you putting words in my mouth? It's a possibility. Oh, yes! I love it.
I don't know all the details. I don't know all the evidence. Why would I make a distinction on that whenever I don't know? That's a very specific thing. So yeah, of course.
Something. You are the president. So if this is real, why aren't you doing anything? This is a classic President DJT maneuver here. The entire administration, really, with like all these crimes from the Democrats.
And I would easily, like, I mean, could I imagine that they had people come in there? Do I think that the FBI has placed agents in areas in order to foment unrest and cause problems? Yes, I think that they have done that. And the reason why I think they've done that is because I think it serves their goals, because it creates a need for themselves. It's the same reason on a fundamental level why websites keep redesigning themselves every 6 months to a year. It's because the design team doesn't want to get fired. Okay. So I think that a lot of people try to create a need for themselves inside of their job. And I don't think the FBI is beyond that. Why do stupid chatters keep putting words in your mouth? It's so fucking annoying. The reason why is because they're programmed by media and they're programmed by other types of controlled propaganda to behave like robots. It's like a...
The program. I'm literally right now sitting here telling you that it is absolutely possible that the FBI... No. I'm telling you that the FBI does do this on occasion. But how dare you? How dare you sit there and tell me that I'm insinuating that the FBI did this on January 6th? Really? Really? You don't put words in my mouth? When I'm telling you that the FBI absolutely did this with no evidence whatsoever, you're really gonna look at me and say that I'm insinuating that they're doing it on January 6th? Fuck you, man. Fuck you, you fucking robot. Fuck you. Now let me go on and rant about bullshit that I don't know about and have no evidence for the next 10 minutes. And then get mad at you if you're trying to say that I'm defending Trump when I'm not. I'm just telling you what I think. And what I think has to be a fact. And if you disagree, you're a bot.
Pavlov conditioning, where it's like as soon as one person says one thing, then that means that they're saying 5 other things.
Absolutely abhorrent.
That's the reason why.
Crimes that the Democrats have done. No more playing nice. No more Mr. Nice Guy. We're showing our teeth. We're baring our fangs, and we're going to get something done about it.
And
then nothing.
Exactly.
It's all just posturing. It's all.
This. I totally agree with this. I totally agree. I think that he should go absolutely Old Testament scorched earth on them. And the fact that these people aren't in jail, the fact that they're not being charged for treason, sedition, other types of insane fucking crimes, it makes.
For what? What would they be charged with sedition in jail for? They're following the. If we're talking about the governors again, Asmongold, we're talking about states' rights. They're following their fucking state, and they're following the will of their people. So you can go fuck yourself on that one. And then if you're talking about the FBI agents, there's no evidence of shit. I promise you, if there was, Trump would be arresting them his damn self, and you fucking know that. The reason Trump, it's so annoying to me. Like, everybody sees Trump talk shit, and they go off with the assumption that he doesn't want to do shit. Do we honestly believe that? He literally tried to stay in office and impose himself as a goddamn emperor on January 6th. He literally went through. People only see the riot, but they don't understand, like, the entire situation that happened there. It wasn't just a riot. He wanted to delay the certification. Why did he want to delay the certification? Because he wanted fake electors, which he did get sent in with the help of representatives in the goddamn House, to Congress in order for Mike Pence to accept fake electors, or he wanted Mike Pence to do one of two things. That's why people were cheering, hang Mike Pence, because he refused to do one of these two things. And that's why Mike Pence was called a traitor by Trump. And that's why Mike Pence is not his vice president again. Because if you actually know what happened, it's more than just a little riot. It's not even a little riot, by the way, but they want to say it's little. Okay, buddies, it's more than just your little riot that you guys don't give a fuck about, but you sit there and scream and cry when a fucking car's on fire at a BLM rally. It's the fact that he tried to get his vice president to accept fake electors, or to say since there are fake electors, he can't know which one's the real electors, shoot it back up to the Supreme Court, not have a president, because we don't know who's the president, and then impose Trump as the president, because he will have the electors go in his favor, since it would go to a vote, which would be in the House, and the House at the time was Republican. So then it would go to the House as a vote, and it would turn out to be that Trump is our next president, and the Supreme Court wasn't going to touch it. That was his hope. That's why his lawyer, Eastman, even said if it went to the Supreme Court, they'd probably lose. They'd probably lose to the Supreme Court that he stacked. All judges would vote against it. But his hope was that the Supreme Court wouldn't touch it because it's such a hot political issue. He wants to do things. It just blows my mind. He does things. I don't even need to give the January 6th example. He's literally sending in troops against the will of the people in the state and the governor. He's doing things. He doesn't care. He go against court orders all the time. He doesn't give a fuck. So why is it that you think that if there was even a little smidge of evidence that there were FBI agents on January 6th, that he wouldn't go out of his way to make sure they're prosecuted? Please, shut up. He fired a prosecutor because they wouldn't charge Comey, and now he is charged with his new one. Please stop. I love how Trump can do everything and nothing at the same time. When we see him doing all this fashy fucking shit, well, he's doing the right thing for the country. And then when you see him tweet shit like this, it's like, oh, I wish he would do so much more. I wish he would be more of a fascist. He's so lightweight. Like, if the liberals really got the Trump I wanted, they'd really be crying. Like, oh my God, bro.
He's so fucking mad. I hate
performative. It is a game, and they are playing you. They're preying upon your gullibility and your inclination to be afraid, to constantly keep you in fear, because when you are afraid and when you are convinced that the other side is doing all of these things to get you, you are so fucking easy to control. You're so malleable.
I think this is something that's not, again, you know, how many times have we heard that Trump is a fascist, threat to democracy, he stole the election, Russia interference.
Russia did interfere. I'm not saying Trump worked with Russia, but Russia did interfere. That is a fact. They did. That is a fact. He tried to steal the election. That is a fact. He is acting a bit authoritarian. If you don't want to use the word fascist, that's fine. But he is being a bit authoritarian here. The way he's going about things, how he wants everything to be, the unilateral fucking executive powers. He wants it to all go through the executive. That's what he's running on, right? That's what Project 2025 is about. And the fact that he employed so many people that was part of Project 2025, and even went as far as truthing out that he agrees with aspects of it. That is a fact. So I don't understand. It's so annoying to me. I don't understand how we can look at a side and be like, hey, this is cult-like behavior because Trump is doing all these things. You guys refuse to call him out. He's not even doing the things that he said he was going to promise to you guys. He's being a piece of shit. His decorum is terrible. He doesn't give a fuck about state rights. I could go on, and you guys are just licking the boot of this guy at every turn. No matter what he does, you don't call him out. That's cult-like behavior. And then you turn it around and be like, it's cult-like behavior on the other side because people call him fascist sometimes. Oh, please, bro. Really?
I think this is the modus operandi to almost all mainstream media and also almost all media in general. That's why people use clickbait. That's why people talk about extreme issues. It's because it's something that it's enticing to people. People want to be, the best thing that can happen for a media company is a tragedy, because a tragedy allows everybody to talk about the issue. And now people are tuning into the news because everybody wants to know what's going to happen next. So I think that really the people that truly benefit off of any sort of tragedy or any sort of civil unrest or anything like that are the media in general. I benefit from that. Like when something really bad happens, my channel viewership goes up and I make more money. That's the case with Hassan.
Okay. That was a little bit of a self-report. Do you think that happens because you and Hassan are being good actors, or do you think that happens because you guys are trying to milk, you know, tragedy and talk and give your opinions on shit that you don't know anything about yet? I mean, look at Hassan when it came to the bombing of the hospital, and he was already ready to blame Israel for it. And I'm not defending Israel whatsoever. They're on some bullshit. But it's the fact that he was 100% ready without evidence coming forward. And then he was called out on that because it's like, bro, let's just wait. There's like a million things to call out Israel on right now. Like, we can wait. But is that the case? Because you guys are just ready and gung-ho to say your opinion on shit, then when it literally happens without having anything, like, to back it? When the fucking guy that murked Charlie Kirk and we got the president saying this was absolutely left-wing violence when we don't even know who the shooter is yet? Like, that, is that the type of person you want to be known as? The guy that just is first to it so he can get the money? That seems kind of fucked. I don't want to be that type of guy, but whatever. Go off. Do you?
Charlie, if something bad happens, like a big crypto scam happens and Charlie covers it, or, you know, a video game fails in a spectacular way like Concord fails, Charlie covers it, he makes money. So there is a parasitic relationship that media has on events like this. And I think that mainstream media, that parasitic relationship has been escalated to the point to where they actually try to propagate and continue these negative events and these problematic things and this fearful thinking because it's beneficial for them. I think Fox does this. I think MSNBC does it. I think CNN does it. I think that they're all guilty. And even smaller places like the Young Turks or like InfoWars do it. It's true. Trump started it, bro. Come on. You think Trump started the idea of media hysteria?
Bro.
I don't think.
Like, this is his entire thing. This is his entire fucking thing. Trump can't be doing wrong because other people do wrong stuff. That's his entire fucking defense. It's so blatant. Like, Trump can't do... It's literally the Bill Burr defense. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. Sorry, Bill Burr. Until you change your fucking shit, this is what I'm saying, calling it now. That's right. I just compared you to Asmongold, Bill Burr. Fix your fucking attitude. But this is the Bill Burr defense, dog. It's like, I can't do wrong things if other people are doing wrong stuff. Other people do wrong stuff. You think I was the first one? It's so annoying. Can you imagine? Bro, if you are a Trump supporter, if you're someone that loves Asmongold or loves licking the boot of these people, please stop, listen to what I'm about to say for 5 seconds before you sit there and glaze Asmongold. And he's like, do you think that the media is not doing this? Do you think other people are not doing this? Would that excuse work for you in real life? If you committed a murder and when they went to lock you up, do you think if you looked at somebody and at that store arresting officer and said, bro, I killed one person, you think I'm the worst person in the world? There's serial killers that killed 3 people, 5 people. I saw a story where someone killed 10 people. You're really arresting me? You think I'm the only one that killed somebody? Does that fly in real life? Please answer that question for me, because I don't believe it does. But for some reason with Trump, it does. Whenever he does something bad, someone did something bad before. Whenever he says something fucked up, a celebrity, not the president, by the way, a celebrity said something bad before. A Twitter account said something bad before. This guy said something bad before. That is a problem. That is why you guys are called a cult. Because no matter how many times someone brings up to you, hey, Trump's doing a bad thing, it is constantly defended with, well, look at this 15-follower Twitter account that says that Trump is a piece of shit. So really, who's really dividing the country here? The president from the United States or Brittany from Taco Bell? Just saying.
I think that's true.
They're playing that shit in the airport.
Here's a great example of what I'm talking about. Do you remember the Ocean Gate thing? Whenever those guys went down to see the Titanic? After it was obviously revealed that everybody died and the death was so instantaneous they didn't even know what happened. It was revealed later on that remember like the countdown for like when they're going to run out of oxygen and everything like that? A lot of these news stations were running this countdown and doing all of this, knowing full well that 99% chance it had already imploded and the people had been dead for hours, if not days at that point.
What?
So how is it that that happens?
Okay.
Was that Trump? No, it had nothing to do with Trump. It had nothing to do with politics.
What the fuck is this? What are we talking about? What is happening? What are we even talking about right now? Gotta turn on my light. What are we talking about? What is happening? What is happening right now? I don't understand. What we're talking about? I'm not even gonna pause it. Honestly, we're probably gonna speed it up until he stops yapping about the fucking Ocean Gate bullshit. Let's speed it up a little bit. This is fucking insane.
I think that's a great example of what I'm talking about in the least politically motivated situation I can think of. Trump does not own the idea of escalating emotional media. This has been a problem before Trump. It's been a problem after Trump. It will be a problem after Trump. That's it. They're milking it for content. Yes. Why would Israel do this? Exactly.
Now about how like the Democrats are Satan and all of that.
Yes.
If you have all of this overwhelming evidence that you claim to have about all of these crimes and all of this shit that the Democrats have done, why?
Remember, guys. Charlie is upset and he's speaking on the fact that President Trump says there's a lot of evidence that the Democrats have committed heinous acts of treason, but it's not going after them whatsoever, even though he's really gung-ho to evade court orders and push troops into cities and has shown time and time again he does not care about rule of law, but somehow he's not able to arrest Democrats for obvious crimes that's being committed. And Asmongold went on a fucking rant about the submarine blowing up and how the media sometimes uses hysteria to push stories, I guess. Nice.
Why have you done nothing?
Exactly, yes! True!
Would be just as guilty in that case.
Yes.
You know, what is the quote? The only thing it takes for evil to succeed is for good men to do nothing. Well, if you know that all this evil is happening from the Democrats and you're doing nothing,
exactly.
You're just as guilty. Like this
Absolutely. Completely fucking agree with this. Yes.
is so clearly obvious to anyone that's thinking for more than 5 fucking seconds. And you don't even need to be thinking for 5 seconds to see this new Truth Social stinker here that he squeaked out as anything other than just a sham. Like, this should just be alarming into the mental decline of Trump. He was president on January 6th. He controlled the FBI, not Biden. Biden was probably out riding his bike to a fucking twisty treat. I don't think he was down there as the puppet master pulling the strings, putting FBI agents in January 6th. It is so crazy, and yet people will just swallow it. They will swallow any shit that Trump feeds them happily, even when they know it's something bad. Like Ted Cruz saying that he got into Congress 13 years ago solely to represent the interests of Israel.
Yeah, I knew it.
He is an American politician who openly states that he is here for Israel.
I really agree with this point too. I definitely do. This is a huge problem. I really don't like the fact, like, I find it to be very weird that, at least in my perspective, if somebody had said this about a number of other countries, I think that very easily everybody would agree that this person is a traitor. But for whatever reason, Israel is seen as this great moral good because of the Bible. I think it's because of religion. That's the reason why. And people are also, the reason why Israel is seen as a great moral good, there's 2 big reasons. Number 1 is religion, and number 2 is people don't want to be seen as anti-Semitic because there's perceived a original sin of Europeans because of Hitler.
I thought I yapped a lot. And I do. I yap a lot. I talk a lot, right? Sometimes I feel like I can repeat myself when I go back and listen to my videos. I noticed that. I've been trying to stop it. I've been trying to really nail a point, but I'll like spit it. I'll spin the block. You know what I mean? I'll hit you with it once, but I feel like you didn't really get it that one time. It's like I spin the block and hit you with it again. But I don't know how people can sit here and listen to Asmongold whatsoever. Why are we going on this history lesson of why Israel is important to, like, religious Bible thumpers? Okay, cool. I think it's weird that we have a sitting senator that feels that their interest should be pushed in another country before their own. That is the main point. And now we're talking about how Israel is important to Bible thumpers, and I guess that's the main point you want to stick on. Cool.
I think that's what's happened, and the Holocaust, which was horrible. So I think that's really the reason why people are afraid of criticizing Israel, is that you have a lot of people that are criticizing Jews, and they do it under the guise of criticizing Israel. Like, oh, I just hate Zionism. Well, who's Zionism? Everybody who's a Jew. But I also think at the opposite spectrum, and this is the point that he's bringing up, and I think this is what's much more common from like mainstream news apparatuses, is that whenever you have people that are talking about Israel and criticizing Israel, they're accused of being anti-Semitic. Like they hate all Jews because they don't like what Israel is doing. And I think that this intentional obfuscation.
I don't even know if Charlie's talking about that. I think he's just bringing up the fact that we have a U.S. senator that's pushing the interests of another country before their own. I don't even think Charlie's talking about that whatsoever. I don't know what the fuck you're yapping on, dude. Like, okay. All right, buddy. Sure. Let's keep going.
And misrepresentation from both sides is really just two sides of the same coin. And that coin is not American currency. That's the fact. Okay. That is not American currency. The truth is that we should not be dealing with this at all. Israel is a foreign nation. It's a foreign country. And the amount of influence that they have over American politics should be, it's degrading. Honestly, more than anything, it's degrading.
Okay.
That, again, like I said, feels treasonous to me.
And I agree with him. Yes, I think that's true.
Okay.
Imagine most people in a different time.
So Ilhan Ilmar can say she's working for Somalia first, and Charlie says nothing, but if it's said for Israel and Ted Cruz, it becomes a problem. Explain the difference. So I think that's the reason why probably Charlie's getting a lot of negative feedback from this video. And obviously, like, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people agree with it, and I think that a lot of the points he's bringing up are...
This is what I'm talking about. First of all, did Ilhan Omar say that? Okay. I don't know. Jesus. The Heritage Foundation? Okay, well... While I am in Congress, no one will take Somalia's sea. Omar appears not just to put her Somalia ethnicity first, but sees her job in Congress and representing the interests of the East African country and its government. While I am in Congress, no one will take Somalia's sea. Okay, so this is from a Republican-backed propaganda board, but this is their best side of evidence. Always keep in mind, guys, all right? Always remember, if someone is giving you their best point, it's going to be their first one, all right? So she made a tweet that said, while I'm in Congress, no one will take Somalia's sea. If you want to say that she's putting Somalia's interest before her own country, okay, I mean, I can say she's very passionate about Somalia. I'm not sure this comes across as she's putting Somalia first, though, because she said she would be protective of Somalia. Has she ever said that Somalia will become first before America? Like Ted Cruz literally said verbatim, Israel first. But okay. And again, this is the thing with Asmongold. It is always like, the guy you're talking about can't be doing wrong because the other people do wrong. You cannot judge bad thing because bad things happen all the time. I've said this in my last video. You're mad about a bad thing happening that I did? Bro. Have you heard of a little thing called sex trafficking? Ha! I bet you haven't. Have you heard of a little thing called murder? Ha! I bet you haven't. And you want to sit here and judge me. Please. When those things are going on in the world, I don't know how you're judging me.
Valid. I'm not saying that he's wrong, but I think that this is the same issue that, for example, South Park had, is that because South Park didn't do any politics for 4 years, and Charlie very rarely makes comments in 4...
South Park... I love it. This is what I'm talking about. Asmongold will take a little bit of truth and put no context behind it and then make you run away with that like it's all truthful. South Park hasn't... They had a couple specials on Paramount Plus. They didn't start doing episodes again until recently. They had like, what, 4 specials on Paramount Plus in the last 4 years. 3 or 4. And it was somewhat political in those specials. They just weren't overtly political like they have been recently. But he can say, oh, South Park hasn't been political in 4 years, and he can make it sound like South Park has like done episodes every single year for the last 4 years and haven't talked about politics. Therefore, they're coming off as biased against Trump. My thing against Trump is like, why is it that there's excuses for him consistently on this shit? Why is it that he can't just be an asshole? Why do you guys always throw out like Trump derangement syndrome, TDS? People are just so angry at Trump. Like, oh my God, they're so mad at him. Could it just be he's an asshole? Has that ever crossed your mind? Could it just be that he's a bad person? Is that so hard to think of? Could it not be TDS? Could it just be that he's a piece of shit? Did we not grow up this way? I feel like we grew up this way, no? Like, I feel like if you were younger, right? And there were people in town that told you, hey, that guy over there, that guy's a piece of shit. And everyone in town agrees that that guy's a piece of shit. Isn't it just unanimous that that guy's a piece of shit? Now, you can argue off the backs of like, oh, false accusations and people make up things about him and that's not the right way to think. Okay. But the difference between us living in a small town and Trump is we can see his actions. At least with the president of a small town, you can have more. TDS works more with the people in the small town, right? Because the person could be a piece of shit. A lot of actions that he did that drove a lot of people away from him. But it could just be a lot of talk of the town chatter. And no one actually knows if he did anything bad. But since everybody assume he did, then everybody's like on his ass. But we can see the president's actions. We got Google. We got the news networks for now. We have the ability to see what Trump is doing and how he is engaging in a way that makes him an asshole. We can see his own words that makes him an asshole. But we got to ignore all that. You're asking us to close our eyes. Close our eyes and just pretend it's not happening and let it go. Close our eyes, close our ears, stop listening to the president. Stop listening to his words. Never in my life have I seen so many people quick to say, stop listening to the president's words. Just let it go. Oh my God.
Plays into politics. But whenever he does, obviously, people will take note of it. And because, basically South Park didn't spend 4 years making fun of Joe Biden, then whenever they decide to come back just to make fun of Trump, it seems like this is partisan and opportunistic. And whenever people see somebody who they want to be a objective source for information, or they want to understand as being unbiased, or at least having a generally like an even-handed perspective of things, and then this person's really only criticizing groups that are doing it that they disagree with necessarily, it comes off the wrong way. Because I completely agree. Ilhan Omar saying that she's working in the best interest of Somalia, I think that's a great reason to never...
She didn't say that. Wasn't said. That was not said. But okay. Like, she literally said that while she is in Congress, Somalia Sea will not be taken. You can look at that and say, oh, she's looking to defend Somalia, but she's not saying that she's going to put Somalia over America first, like Ted Cruz did. And even if you want to stick on that point, why is it that you're so quick to play this game of like, Republican did something bad, I found this person that did something bad too. It's like, okay, so are you going to say they're both bad then? I'm going to say that it's bad stuff that's happening in politics and it shouldn't be happening. Okay, so what Ted Cruz did was wrong. I'm going to say that bad things happen when politicians do bad stuff and, well, like, okay. All right.
Elector. I think that if you run for office in America, you should have to renounce citizenship to every other country in the world. If you have Israeli citizenship, you should not be able to hold office here in America, even for being on city fucking council. Okay? This is a ridiculous thing that we're even thinking about. Advocating for the best interests of Somalia. What the fuck are we talking about? I don't view there is... to be honest, Israel, I think, is much more of an existential problem because they're much more powerful than Somalia is, obviously, right? They're more influential, they have more money, they have more military, etc. So it would make sense that Israel would be seen as more of an issue. But you're right. Whenever Charlie doesn't make a video and talk about that, and he's only focusing on Ted Cruz and his adherence to Israel, I think that...
Why does Charlie have to make a video on a Ilhan Omar tweet? A single tweet. Don't you guys bitch and moan when people make videos on Trump tweets, when the tweets actually develop into actions, i.e. James Comey, i.e. sending in troops into cities? But hey, we're not allowed to talk in Trump's words. When he says he hates all his political opponents, we're not allowed to talk on that. But now Charlie has to make a video on Ilhan Omar's fucking tweet, where she didn't even say she put Somalia first at all. She just said, I will make sure a bad thing doesn't happen to this country that I like. Fuck me.
Has come off as one-sided. That's definitely true. Somalia is irrelevant in U.S. politics. Well, if it's so irrelevant in U.S. politics, then why are politicians in the United States trying to say they're advocating for its best interests? Like, and I agree with you, but I think the fact that I agree with you, like, I mean, both of these things are true at the same time.
I think advocating for a country's interests and making sure that they don't get fucked over is a little different than saying I'm putting this country before mine. My hope would be that Ilhan Omar, if she had to choose between America and Somalia, would choose America. Even though she doesn't want bad things to happen to Somalia. But with Ted Cruz's fucking statements, it sounds like he would pick Israel before he picks America. So, again, you're conflating the two, but who cares? Because your audience is full of fucking teenagers who don't give a fuck anyway, so...
period would feel the same. But because of how tribalistic politics has become, if you're a big MAGA enthusiast, Trump supporter, you have to somehow just hand wave that and support it because that's what you're told you need to do.
I don't think that. I think this specific example isn't really accurate. If you look at a lot of people's criticism, I think that one of the main points of contention with a lot of right-wing people is the unwavering support of Israel. And also, if anybody had elected Trump, if you had voted for Trump thinking that he wasn't going to help Israel and work in Israel's best interest, you played yourself. For every one clip that you can find of Trump criticizing...
What does this have to do with what Charlie is saying? Am I losing my fucking mind? What are we at? 47-13? I want to listen to what Charlie said again, because I could have just been not paying attention real quick. I'm on my game, so maybe I just misheard him. Hold on.
Isn't really accurate. If you look at a lot of people's criticism about that, and he's only focusing on Ted Cruz and his adherence to Israel, I think that it does come off as one-sided.
Oh, shut up. Okay, let's see.
Period would feel the same. But because of how tribalistic politics has become, if you're a big MAGA enthusiast, Trump supporter, you have to somehow just hand wave that and support it because that's what you're told you need to do.
I don't think that.
Charlie's bringing up the fact that no matter what happens within the Trump political sphere, the MAGA supporters will defend it, no matter what. That's what Charlie's bringing up. Is that people will defend Trump and people will defend people that support Trump unwavering, no matter what. No matter what they say, no matter what they do. And your point is to go on this stupid-ass spiel about, like, oh, some MAGA supporters don't really like the unwavering support for Israel, some do, and the not... okay. Alright, Asmongold, you got it, buddy. Go ahead. Yap away. Yap away on bullshit.
You can find 100 clips of Trump praising Israel over the last 40 years. The fact is that Trump has always been pro-Israel. Kamala Harris was pro-Israel. Joe Biden was pro-Israel. Unfortunately, for the American public right now, this is not an issue that we can vote on. I know I hate to say that, and I think that's unfair, but that's the reality. Trump was supporting Israel right from the beginning, and he always has. Anybody who thought that this wasn't what was going to happen was lying to themselves.
Even though anyone should be able to hear that and be concerned. Why does Israel have such a huge stranglehold on the American political landscape and such a massive say-so in how American companies do their business? And why do they even have, like, the ability to start making demands about what needs to be censored in regards to their atrocities?
100%. I completely agree, and I think most people, this is the thing, is that I think a lot of right-wing MAGA people do agree with that. And I think it's one of the biggest points of contention between them and Trump.
On American platforms, it would be alarming.
But I think also, like, it's important to keep in mind that AIPAC, that's the, one of the Israeli political action committees, they help, they're involved with everybody. It's not like they're only pro-Republican. Like, they're also giving money to Democrats too. These are, both sides are playing for the same team.
Oh my God.
If the political sphere wasn't just, I have to support everything from this side no matter what. Yeah. It is fucking scary. Now, I do want to make a mention of something. It's not all horrible, awful news. There's actually a ceasefire going on right now.
Which is good.
And I can only pray that it sticks. With Netanyahu, you never really fucking know. But I can only keep my fingers
crossed. You also never know. I mean, they are terrorists. I mean, he's totally right.
And pray for the absolute best for the Palestinians.
Sure,
and hope
of course.
that going forward, the people of Gaza will no longer need to fear being massacred by Netanyahu's IDF. Now, I know I said at the beginning of the video, the focus of this was going to be on the crypto collapse and the super lucky guy that happened to make $190 million going against all rational thinking and against all the odds. Truly a miracle.
And I think that's the give Trump some credit. Well, Trump did play a very big role in it. I think Trump did something that was very smart, is that he engaged nearly every single Middle Eastern country involved in order to all give them collective ownership and collective failure if it doesn't go well. And I think that that was probably the smartest thing that he did with this entire event, is engage so many of them at the same time. But yeah, and I do think that it's, and this is another thing, right, is that whenever you engage in political topics like this, it is going to seem very problematic to people when you're talking about how bad Israel is, whenever there's also Hamas as well. Hamas is advocating for Palestinians, but they're also killing Palestinians. They kill people that protest against them. And so, like, whenever you see that and there's no discussion and no conversation about Hamas being problematic, Palestine is being oppressed by two groups of people, by Israelis and also by Hamas. And it shouldn't, neither one of them should be there.
True. Good job, Asmongold.
Myself. This is just so preposterous. But now, let's finally dive into the crypto collapse. CoffeeZilla made a video going over this. It's extremely well put together, so I'm going to be showing you some clips of that as we talk about it.
I don't even know what this is. I think this is all legal, kind of. I don't think it should be, as you'll see.
Yeah, they should change the rules.
Thing is, even if it wasn't legal,
it's wrong.
It wouldn't matter.
Yeah, it's
there will
still
be
bad.
no justice pursued regardless, because I think
it's a good point. Yeah,
pretty clear that whoever this is, they are part of Trump's inner circle of cronies, and they had this knowledge beforehand what was coming. Yep. And it doesn't take a genius to recognize that imposing these huge tariffs on China was going to have a huge effect on the market. So it was a pretty easy opportunity for them to short with that knowledge in mind and make an unbelievable amount of money. Again, if it is legal, it shouldn't be, like CoffeeZilla says.
Yes.
But even if it isn't legal, it won't matter because they're not going to do anything about it.
But the question is, what did this guy know? Okay, how did somebody make $190 million while everyone else was losing their shirts yesterday? If you don't know, there was one of the biggest crashes.
There was a guy that killed himself over this, in fact. Over the crash. It was that bad. There are people calling for this exact drop, and example, Ben Cowan, it's a bullshit argument. I think that, I mean...
What? No. No. See, what they're about to bring up, right? Someone made up $190 million betting against the economy, right? Pretty much, they short their stocks, right? They bet against some shit. To break it down in some, like, in stupid terms, right? Can we put it in real stupid terms for you? I don't think you guys are stupid, by the way. But to break it down into terms that MAGAnoids will understand, imagine the Kansas City Chiefs are playing... Who's the worst team in the league right now? Would we say it's Oakland? Would we say the Raiders? I guess. Like we'll say the Raiders. So let's say the Kansas City Chief game and the Raiders game, right? But let's say someone is like constantly betting the Raiders to win against Kansas City. I don't know if Kansas City has home, but let's just assume they are. Against Kansas City at home. Constantly betting against Kansas City. Constantly. Putting in money into the Raiders. Putting a large sum of money into the Raiders. And then, the minute they stop putting money into the Raiders, a minute later, a tweet comes out that Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and their entire O-line is on the IR. None of them are playing. You'd look at the guy who's like was putting so much money on the Raiders in a little bit of a weird way because it makes no sense whatsoever why you're going completely against the grain. It doesn't make sense. But that's kind of what happened here. It seems like they had information that other people did not have about the economy and made out like a bandit with that information. And hopefully he shows more of the CoffeeZilla clip because I think he explained it pretty well himself. But I like Charlie because I think he does pretty well as far as like explaining things in a dumbed down way as well. So we'll go ahead and let him finish. But yeah, it seems like only way you could do this is if you were involved with Trump personally and knew what he was about to tweet out and about to say. So,
like, really, do you really think that nobody? Do you really think that like they're not doing like weird insider trading things? Because I think that they are. I don't think this is a.
And here we go again. Here we go again with Asmongold. Here we go again. Bad things happen all the time. Politicians are corrupt. People do bad stuff. So bad stuff happens. Therefore, we can't call Trump out on it. If bad things happen, you're not allowed to call out the president. Because everybody does it. All right.
Trump exclusive thing, but I think it is happening. Absolutely, I think it's happening.
Ever seen in crypto, and someone came in 24 hours before and started placing shorts against the market.
Yeah, you don't have to defend this. Like, this is obviously bad. I mean, there's no reason you have to. Like, this is the issue that I'm saying. Is like you don't have to defend bad stuff. Like, this is obviously a bad decision that they made. This is a Trump exclusive video. Yeah, but this isn't a Trump exclusive react. Like, I'm watching this. I'm talking about it. You can disagree with the video, but don't disagree with me. I feel like I'm looking at this pretty fairly.
Just when you bet that the underlying asset is going to go down in price and you will make money on that. Now, this all started October 9th at 16:39 GMT time. They start accumulating this Bitcoin short.
So T-minus 24 hours until the rest of the world knows this information about the impending tariffs.
Yes.
They come in with $80 million that they start shorting Bitcoin with.
Somebody brings up another good point, is that it could also be somebody with knowledge of this on the Chinese side. I've actually never even considered that, but I think that's a really great point of view, is that people...
No, it's not, you fool. Hold on. I'm finding it. Hold on. No. No. The only person who knows if they're going to drop a tweet about implementing tariffs on China is Trump. There may have been talks back and forth, but there may have been threats back and forth. But you don't throw this type of money around unless there's a guarantee. Right? Just because Trump is yelling on the phone to a Chinese diplomat, which I highly doubt he'd even be doing that, doesn't sound like proper fucking procedural shit. I understand Trump doesn't really stick to that, but still, that doesn't really sound like the best negotiating tactic in and of itself. But I highly doubt he's on the phone and saying, I'm going to implement these tariffs to you tomorrow. It's going to happen. Like, no. It's probably vague threats and shit. It's like, hey, if you don't do this shit, you know, I can't promise that there won't be tariffs. I can't promise that I'm not going to hurt you guys. But even if Trump is giving vague threats, which I'm not even sure he's doing that, but even if he is giving vague threats over the phone to Chinese diplomats, how are they supposed to know it's just gonna happen or when it's gonna happen? Why would someone throw around $80 million based off of an opinion? Because Trump says a lot of things he's gonna do that he doesn't end up doing. So why would someone throw around that large amount of money on something that could happen? Please shut up. Again, this is... Take all responsibility away from Trump and try to point it to someone else as much as we possibly can. Jesus. And I'm pretty sure when it comes to this story, if I'm not mistaken, Charlie might even bring it up, is Trump, the person who was shorting stocks, stopped putting money in. They stopped like a minute before Trump tweeted. Am I wrong on that? We'll see. I think CoffeeZilla brought it up, but I'm pretty sure that happened. So if that's the case, that means they knew like the minute that Trump was going to send out a tweet. So it probably wasn't a goddamn Chinese diplomat, but I could be wrong.
People involved in China might have known this too. It's more likely. I don't know if it's more likely or not, but it's possible.
Not like a gamble or anything.
Possible.
That feels like they knew for sure something was going to happen. That is a crazy amount to come out of nowhere with to short Bitcoin.
Now, the amount is
So
unusual.
China, I think that the reason why is because I think there's a lot more conversations and interplay between them than what the media lets on and what they let on. I bet they're talking and arguing about this stuff constantly, and we just don't hear about it. Like that Zelensky fight that happened in the White House, I bet that happens every day.
Probably not. Okay.
That itself is not the unusual part. Then we have Ethereum starts to get shorted at 3:49 GMT. Interesting. $30 million gets deposited
Wow.
in his account.
That's a lot of
Immediately
money.
start placing major bets
Big
that the
money.
market is going to go down. Why is this significant? Well, because at 14:57, this is only a few hours later, 12 hours later, Trump posts on Truth Social that they are calculating a massive increase on Chinese tariffs.
Zoinks. That's really lucky. This account comes
How
out of
convenient.
nowhere, swinging huge numbers, swinging big-time fucking doubloons here on these shorts, and then shortly after, well, it looks like something might be happening to the market here with these potential tariffs that they're calculating.
Where
I wonder how bad this has to get for there to actually be partisan support for trying to remove, like, I really do think that money in politics is a literal poison. And unfortunately, Citizens United legalized it.
What?
And now it's just awful.
You do understand that money in politics is not the same thing as insider trading. You can ban all money in politics. It's not going to stop insider trading. You get that, right? If Trump is giving out information to someone close to him that he's going to do a thing that you can benefit greatly on financially, there's nothing a law can do that can stop that. Unless there's we can make a law to like manually investigate. I'd be down for that if you're making large sums of money off of backings like this, off of shorts like this. It should be investigated immediately, right? It should be treated like a bank. You know when you go cash your check at the bank, if it's over like $800, they say you get like half now or a portion now and you get the rest later after we confirm it. And that's just making sure that the funds are able to be transferred. It should be like that. It should be like that. It's like, hey, we'll give you like a portion of the money now, and we're going to go ahead and look into this shit and ask you some questions before we give you the rest. I'd be down for that. That way we can actually find out if some insider trading went down. But besides that, if you're going to ban all money in politics, it's not going to stop insider trading. It's not going to stop it.
Goes from suspicious to downright
Very,
diabolical
very bad.
is the fact that at
Never
this
happened.
point the market dips a little bit.
Still might be
You
a
have
point.
these threats of tariffs.
Yes.
But the person does not start closing out their shorts yet.
No, that's not weird. This trader's just got diamond hands. What? He's not going to close out his position based off of just that one tweet there. No, that wouldn't make any sense. He's just got strong paws to really grip onto his positions here.
Which I think is very interesting. If you place this huge short bet, and then the president tweets something like this, you would think you would close out your order. But not only do they not do that, not only do they not close out their short, they continue to place short bets against Bitcoin. In fact, this person continues to short Bitcoin all the way up till 2049-23 GMT.
You guys ready for
Why
this?
is that significant, ladies and gentlemen? It's because
What happened at 2050?
2049 is the last short he places, okay? 2050 GMT.
I knew it.
A minute later, 1 minute later, Trump announces they're considering
Wow.
an 100% tariff
That's a lot of money.
on China, which of course tanks
Causes
the
everything
market.
to go down.
And this person makes literally $190 billion in 24 hours.
Then over the course of the next half hour, they close out all of their shorts and they cash out big time jackpot.
That should have been me. That should have been me, guys.
Wow, did they get
Yeah.
lucky or what, huh? Man, I cannot believe the coinky-dink there. Shorting all the way up until 1
There should be an investigation onto who did this.
minute
Absolutely.
before Trump's tweet. Gee, some guys have all the luck. You'd
I
actually
think the reason why the government doesn't do this is because they're all in on it. Republicans, Democrats, they are all in on this. They're all making money off of this. Nobody is going to stop the gravy train.
Right.
There's only a handful of guys that don't do it.
be the biggest fucking stupidest troglodyte on the planet to think that this was just like a lucky, miracle trade here from this individual. This is clearly someone that had information about what
Everybody
was coming.
does
Of course,
bad
the speculation
things.
is that it's Barron.
Everybody
Barron
makes
Trump.
mistakes.
There's a lot of people.
There's
Everybody
no
has
reason why
those
anybody
days.
should think that it's Barron Trump. There is literally no... Why do people think that? Because they know...
I don't know, because maybe Trump made a fucking tweet right before the person stopped. Seems like it's someone close to Trump. It could be Barron Trump. I'm not saying there's evidence it is Barron Trump, but damn, how do you know it's absolutely not Asmongold? How are you? I find that so hilarious. Hold on. I need to talk to Brad real quick. I need to, can I give him a weapon? Am I allowed to give him a weapon? Let's go. All right, let's get my boy strapped. Okay. I find it so funny. So hilarious. This is hilarious to me. Asmongold can go on an entire rant about how the FBI is not possibly doing something. They absolutely are doing something with zero evidence. But then people are like, hey, I think it could be Barron Trump, considering that they would have to have a close proximity to the president, a close relationship with the president, and it might be Barron Trump who's involved with this. Don't have evidence, but that could be a possibility. And when you hear that and you go, yeah, I don't know why anyone would even think that. I don't even know why anyone would even consider that. It's like, are you serious, bro? Really? That's funny. That's funny.
No Barron Trump, and he's young, and so young people are going to use computers. Really, what are we doing here?
Yep, that's the reason. Because he's young, and young people
providing
use
their
computers.
loose evidence that it's Barron.
Yes.
Nothing's confirmed on who this is, and I don't think there will ever be confirmation on who this was. But it doesn't take a galaxy brain 5-digit IQ genius to see this and recognize that the only way that something like this happens is if that person had prior knowledge of what was coming. There is no other explanation for it. So while everyone else lost tons of money, some people lost everything. This crash
People
was
killed
so
themselves.
colossal that some people took their own lives because of
there
it.
it is.
The
I saw
only
it.
way that someone went totally against the grain all the way up until 1 minute before the fucking, bomb dropped from Trump here is if they knew it was coming.
Yep.
It's just, I think it is so clear. And the only way you could possibly think anything else is if you're already brainwashed and mind controlled and stuck in a
It's
cult.
possible that it was a coincidence, but it's not likely.
Oh,
I would say there's a 99% chance it wasn't a coincidence.
Mentality. I really don't know what it will take to snap people out of this. The people that are just so far gone and willing to deny all the evidence of their eyes and ears, that they're constantly being told that they need to, following these orders of just deny everything that you see and hear from this administration and everything going on. I don't know how you bring them back into being able to think.
This is a meta level problem. I think he's right. Is that people are completely consumed by dogma. I think that one of the big reasons why is because political, I think it's probably the celebrity nature of politics nowadays. And I think that the celebrity nature of politics has lent itself very well to enabling people to become extremely cult of personality-ish, right? And I think you're seeing this happen, I'll give out some names, right? I think Trump's like this. I think AOC's like this. I think Zoran Mandami's like this. I think he does a very good job at it, in fact. I think Bernie, to a lesser extent, is like this, even though I consider him very much a good actor. I like Bernie. But I do think that he definitely, even unwillingly, is part of this phenomenon. I think Marjorie Tyler Greene, or whatever, MGT, whatever the fuck her name is one of these. And I think that the more and more people that are elevated to this celebrity status through politics, it will create a form of demagogism and effectively just celebrity worship with this individual. And I think that Trump definitely, like, you had this with Obama. Like, you did have this with Obama for sure. But, and I think also, according...
Bro, I lived through Obama. I don't remember anyone glazing the fuck out of every single thing he does. They literally called him the porter-in-chief. This is the first time in history that we have a person where their side doesn't call them out at all. Bernie Sanders, you got people on the left that calls him out. AOC, you got people on the left that calls him out. This is insane. Donald Trump doesn't get called out for anything. Everything's defended. But again, it's fine. It's okay. You know, bad things happen. So if bad things happen, therefore, I'm never going to talk about the bad things that are happening on my side. It is so... At this point, it's just exhausting. But we're almost done, guys. We're almost there. We're almost there. Let's finish up Asmongold's fucking nonsensical bullshit.
I think like my dad and other people that I talked to, they're a lot older. JFK was a lot like this too. That's at least like what they've explained to me. But I think also like Trump definitely created like a modern version of it, and he made it work.
Like actually,
Reagan? Yeah, I think Reagan
it's
too.
fucking terrifying. It's actually extremely scary. So yeah, I wanted to yap about this morning. That's really about it. So, yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, overall, I think this is kind of a mixed video for me. Like, some of the things I agree with, some of the things I don't agree with. I think that, in general, the reason why a lot of people probably are like, I've seen a lot of negative comments about this video, some positive comments, etc. I think probably more positive than negative, definitely. But, like, what I'm really saying is that I think that the reason why a lot of people approach, you know, Charlie talking about this with a lot of, like, they don't really view it as authentic is because, number one, I think that Charlie just recently made a video about, what's his name? Hassan. And I think that people would easily say that, well, this is something that, you know, he's just doing this because, you know, a lot of Hassan people are angry at him and this is posturing for him to not lose that type of an audience, right? I think there's definitely...
Really? So because he talked bad on Hassan, he had to make a video about the president. Could it just be he doesn't like the president and he think whatever Hassan did was bad? No, we can't have nuance like that. It has to be all like encompassing of being fake. It's a bot. It's bot behavior. It's not real. Right. Okay.
People that will see it that way. I think there's other people that will see it as, you know, like you can look at brainwashing that people have. And I think it's very evident to any person who isn't very, like, I mean, I don't know how much Charlie keeps up with this kind of stuff, right? And a little true. Well, like, yeah, I mean...
Well, you're literally calling them brainwashed, so there's that.
Anti-Trump, he was not authentic. Well, I think that really, whenever you're talking about meta-level problems like money and politics, and you take a meta-level problem like money and politics, and then you make it exclusive to one party, it does seem like you're obviously trying to advocate for one point of view, right? And so that's really the difference here. So I think that I think that really it's an issue of like the right message, but communicated in a way that I think people considered it inauthentic. So does that make sense? Like a lot of what Charlie was saying at a very baseline, I think that most of you guys and all of us agree with, right? I mean, pretty much. But
no, absolutely not. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. I don't think they're going to sit here and call out Trump whatsoever. Even the little monochrome of fucking critique you gave to Trump, which wasn't really much of shit. I don't even think they'd agree with you on that, but okay.
I think that the only issue is that making it out like it is a...
No. Mostly no.
Like
so
exclusive
chat,
thing for...
no,
you know, like,
nope.
Which
Nice.
I don't think is true.
Nice. Good shit, guys. Good video. And by good video, I mean bullshit. If you like my content, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's anything you want me to react to, and I will do so. But until next time, y'all, love ya. See ya. Peace out.